What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the all-new 2026 Honda Passport. This one is a Trailsport Elite S finished off in crystal black with an MSRP at $55,300. Big shout out to Flo Honda of Statesville for providing this new 2026 model year Passport for today's video. Check out their website linked down below. Underneath the hood of the 2026 Honda Passport, you're gonna find a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter 6-cylinder. This V6 is pushing out 285 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission. This one is all-wheel drive. Curb weight is around 4,700 pounds, and it can tow about 5,000 pounds. With that, it runs on an 18.5-gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 18 miles per gallon in the city with 23 out on the highway. The overall length is 191.5 inches with wheelbase at 113.6. Width is 79.4 and height is 73.1 inches. This Trailsport is off-road capable with approach angle at 24 degrees, ground clearance at 8.3 inches, and departure angle at 23.1 degrees. Moving on to the styling with the all-new 2026 Honda Passport, this definitely has a super rugged appearance. I love these square-off front headlights. You can see the triple beam LEDs, daytime running light, and then I love the gloss black upper grille. You got Passport written out as well, and you can see the Trailsport logo. Down below, you're gonna get a little bit of gray plastic material with an LED fog light. We got parking sensors, orange metal tow hooks, and then I like the gloss gray for the upper center. You can see more parking sensors, more openings in the lower grille, and then more of that silver color way down below. So a really nice squared off front end, definitely gives it a rugged appearance. And then you have a hood scoop style trim piece on the front portion of the hood. Sharp body lines on the upper portion of the hood as well, just giving it that aggressive off-road appearance. And then you can see the low overhangs leading to these off-road tires. Got a really aggressive set of 18-inch wheels. I love the circular spokes throughout them, just gives it a super off-road focused design. Got a nice plastic front fender flare just to protect the paintwork a little bit. Sharp body line throughout it, and then one sharp line cutting through the whole side profile. Got more of this plastic material down below to continue to protect the body. Body color on the door handles as well as the mirror caps, integrated turn signal and camera, and then all black trim throughout the windows. You're gonna get a nice functional set of roof rails up above, panoramic sunroof as well. And then for the whole side profile, once again, you got a nice boxy design to it, which really helps give it that off-road appearance. I also like how you can see this third window is much smaller and it kind of integrates into the back glass. You do have some plastic trim up above, same for the rear spoiler. Got the windshield wiper down below, and then a nice set of red taillights. Got more of this plastic material with mud flaps for the rear bumper, all of your parking sensors, some more of that silver design, and then all the trailer hitch connections right throughout the center. Got Passport written out, along with that Trailsport badge. Honda logo is blacked out, and I like how it's very flat back here, kind of cuts straight down without having a protruding rear bumper, just to aid in some off-road clearance. But overall, this 2026 Passport definitely has a nice off-road design. Taking a look at the key fob, we get lock, unlock, remote start, power tailgate, Honda badge on the backside. If I go ahead and just keep the car locked, you can just grab the door handle, it'll unlock, power folding side mirrors, and we can check out this brown leather interior. I like the two-tone you're gonna see throughout it. And then for the door panel, you just have some soft touch black, and then this really cool texturized plastic material. Kind of looks like a camo carbon look. You got memory seating, your release handle with a very ergonomic design, all of your window and mirror controls, and a good grab handle with padding for your armrest. Got a lot of storage throughout the door panel as well. Trailsport is on these nice looking floor mats, and then there's all power controls for the seat. You're gonna get the smooth black leather along with nice perforations throughout the brown, and I really like how the two-tone comes together. You're also gonna get contrast stitching finished in the orange color to match the Trailsport logo. More of the contrast up above, Trailsport is stitched into the headrest. You got a very nice, massive panoramic sunroof. You can also see a nice black leather wrapped steering wheel with more of the orange accents all throughout it. And then now inside the 2026 Honda Passport, keep my foot on the brake, go ahead and fire it up. Got the two screens that are gonna roar to life. Got the Honda logo right in the center, controls on the left side for some Bluetooth and audio controls. We also have cruise control settings all on the right. You have distance pacing, lane keeping, steering intervention. You can also use both of these roller wheels and scroll through the center screen. So on the left side, a lot of what you're used to seeing on several other Hondas. You can go through a lot of the audio. And then on the right side, you're going to be able to see some advanced safety settings, your fuel range, speed, time, things like that. You can have maps as well. Got a nice digital gauge cluster with your tachometer on the left, you have your speedometer on the right, and then engine temperature as well as your fuel. You have some steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Stock on the right side is going to be for all the windshield wipers, and then we have headlights over on the left. On the far left side, we have the heated windshield along with the tailgate, one of your air vents, some soft touch plastic all throughout the dashboard, and I like how you have a huge storage cubby with a cool texture on the inside. Got this brown color, and then there's going to be more contrast stitching along with the black leather type material underneath that. And the multimedia screen right in the center is basically what we're used to seeing on some modern Hondas. You have all your different tiles, very large design, super easy to read. We have a lot of the Google integration as well, from Maps, Google Assistant, Play Store. We have the home icon, back button, a couple shortcuts all throughout it as well. There is Apple CarPlay, and then we can adjust everything like that. On the far right side, you can swipe up and down. You're going to see a couple things pop up as well. So very user-friendly overall. I think it's a pretty nice setup. Got the Passport name written down underneath it. And then for the shifter, we have the buttons that we've seen on other models. Reverse is pulling this back. And for the backup camera, you got a pretty good rear view with HD graphics. You can adjust your guidelines as well as the views, different designs. We have the top down as well. And then just tapping the P button, we're back into park. You got 2 air vents underneath that. And then there is physical climate controls all throughout it. We can easily adjust the temperature, the fan speed. We have dual zone. You can adjust the rear, heated and ventilated seating, which makes it super convenient to have. And then just all your basic controls. You can adjust the rears separately by just turning them on and off, different modes, of course. And then underneath that, we're going to get a little storage, a couple extra plugs, and then wireless phone charging throughout the center with more of that cool textured pattern and extra storage. You're going to see 2 cup holders with more of this cool looking kind of geometric shapes, park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then down below all that, we have the brake hold, drive modes, downhill assist, and auto start stop. If we play with our drive modes, you have all sorts of them that are going to pop up all the way from a sport, normal, and eco, and then several different off-road modes. It even has a tow mode all the way down in the bottom. From here, you're going to see a nice padded armrest with contrast stitching, and then pressing the button, we can open that up, and there's a ton of storage all throughout it. Glove box on the far right side, big bucket as expected. And then one last look at the interior. This is a really nice place to be. Seems to be appointed very well, and being the Trail Sport has a really cool, rugged yet luxurious design. Full sunroof with the sunshade now, and then we have a nice sunglass holder. You're going to get all your dome lights, the glass controls, and a nice normal mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, I can just grab the door handle and open it up. The rear door panel is going to finish off just like you saw up in front. There is even a manual sunshade. You have some smooth material, a little bit harder plastics back here, and then this nice smooth brown leather type material. Got the same pattern, speakers, all sorts of storage, and then this can seat 3 people. We have the contrast orange stitching, nicely integrated with the brown and black to give it that 2-tone design. And then the center seat we can pull down, and you have a nice armrest with cup holders. You're also going to get quite a lot of amenities. We have air vents, we have climate controls you can adjust, heated seats, different plugs as well, and then storage is all behind both of these seats. From here, you have a lever up above where you can pull this forwards, and they're going to fold nice and flat to give you a good cargo area for extra items. Now sitting in the back seat with this 2026 Passport. So I'm 5'11" sitting here, and honestly, this is a really good family car. I have like 5-6 inches of headroom. With the driver's seat at my height, you can see I have really good knee room and foot room. The seat base is pretty large as well, to where it's supporting my legs nicely. There's no extra recline or anything on the seats. However, it's at a good recline to where I feel like I'm just nice and comfortable. Got plenty of amenities, really nothing more, nothing less that you would want. So honestly, for a 2-row vehicle, this seems to be a pretty good option for the family. Taking a look at the cargo space, you can just grab the button underneath the Honda badge. We're gonna get that power operation. It's gonna nicely pop open. So with the rear seats up, you're gonna get 44 cubic feet of cargo volume back here. Very flat load floor. I like how there's little cubbies on the left side, extra storage over here. We have a power outlet. You can walk away and press that button, and there's even a ton more storage all throughout it. From here, you can lift up the bottom, and you have a nice spare tire with extra hidden cargo space. Now it's a little bit of a reach, but you can grab these if you're tall enough, and we can get this second row out of the way where cargo volume is going to bump up over 83 cubic feet of volume. So once again, very squared off exterior design does translate to a very squared off interior, making this ultra practical for cargo. We also have the button up here you can press. So let's just go ahead, press that one. Gives you a little countdown, and then that's gonna automatically go down. From here, everything folds nice and flat. Nice flat ceiling as well, just to maximize cargo space. So certainly a practical car for family as well as anything else you're gonna need. All right, setting off now in the Trail Sport. So in trail mode, you are gonna get all your cameras that pop up. You even have the pitch and roll meter, which is a cool touch. Obviously you can see everything really nicely. Obviously you can't go crazy off-roading in a brand new vehicle, but this with the all-wheel drive system, suspension, transmission, all that good stuff, this is something that is actually going to be pretty capable if you're going to go maybe on like a family camping trip up a trailhead of some sorts. This is a crossover that you can actually take places. I've seen these off-roading at some off-road expos I've been to, so this is something that you can have some fun with without having to drive something that is awful on the road. So some normal on-road characteristics. You got a really good view around, nice bit of glass all throughout it. The mirrors seem pretty good. Side mirrors are a little on the small side, but it's overall really easy to see around. The seating position and everything is really comfortable. I love the materials. Everything you touch in this car feels really nice. For mid-50s, you know, it's not the cheapest thing out there. However, it still feels like a pretty premium car at the end of the day. So you're gonna have nice use of materials. The seats have good padding to them to where I just fit super nicely with no complaints at all, especially with the ventilated seats and all the good climate controls. So when we are getting up to some speed just in normal mode, the 10-speed transmission shifts nicely, just slowly accelerating. And the engine has a good amount of power. I like how this has a normal, robust V6. No little 4-cylinder on this, which is a huge plus for something of this size, especially of something that can tow what this tows. So I like how this has a real solid, bulletproof powertrain. In sport mode, has a nice sound to it too, which is kind of a cool touch. It feels and sounds a bit more aggressive than your basic crossover. So I like how they have added kind of a tough level to this, basically a robust aspect to the drivetrain. I like how there's not really any compromises for that like some crossovers are gonna give you these days, unfortunately. Ride quality is pretty good. It absorbs bumps well. Being more of an off-road focused one, this one is gonna have a little bit softer suspension geared more towards hitting gravel roads, hitting some roots and rocks and stuff off pavement. So this seems to tackle the on-road bumps nicely. It's pretty quiet too. Don't really hear much wind noise and road noise even when I am going faster speeds. And overall, it just kind of feels like a nice normal crossover. Driving dynamics aren't drastically different from the previous generation Passport. Obviously, it's a pretty much continuation of the same generation, just tweaked for the nice facelift for the 2026 model year. So it seems to drive pretty good. Steering is nice and light. Throttle response is about what you would expect. So it seems like a kind of a normal, comfortable two-row family vehicle. It also doesn't really feel all too big. I can see the hood, of course I can see the rear end, and being so boxy, you know there's no weird overhangs or anything front and back. It just is an easy car to place. Everything pretty much works very well. So honest thoughts now with the 2026 Passport. So this is kind of the fully loaded Trail Sport version. So you got the off-road rugged aspects, but also the luxurious side of it. That's kind of the sweet spot, I think, just because, you know, with something like this, you're able to tow a decent sized boat, a utility trailer, you know, something like that. So you can use this for the family recreation, which I quite like in any SUV. Also, it gives you the off-road capabilities to go on a camping trip, go places that your typical crossover might get stuck. And with that said, it offers a nice interior. This is really sporty. I love the two-tone. I've always been a fan of the browns and blacks together. Just looks really good on the inside. The use of materials is nice too. Everything you touch, it feels nice. You know, this is not a luxury brand. It doesn't feel obviously like a luxury brand, but it's a nice feeling Honda with a nice amount of good materials for the interior to kind of justify a $55,000 price tag. So I don't feel like it's too crazy in price when you look at the competition. It's not a cheap car, obviously, but when you look at other things out there, it seems kind of right on par. And the fact that we get a normal engine and transmission, I think a lot of buyers really, really like. There's a lot of vehicles just like this that are gonna have a 4-cylinder and maybe even a CVT. And to me, that kind of just takes away the rugged aspects and the robust aspects. We know a Honda V6 will last forever, so you don't have to worry about the engine. A 10-speed transmission, it'll do the job as well and should be pretty reliable too. With that, the driving characteristics I like. I think it drives good. It's not as maybe soft as like the CR-V. It has a little bit of that like body on frame rugged SUV character to it while still being a normal crossover at the end of the day. So I feel like they've added a good amount of ruggedness to what this car has to offer, and it definitely makes this seem to be pretty nice and fun to drive. And knowing that I have the capabilities to actually use this for a utility vehicle, I think that just kind of opens up the floor for what this car can definitely do. So I like how Honda has given you a rugged crossover without being too rugged to where you're sacrificing on the road. Now obviously this can't do what a Jeep Wrangler or a Bronco can do off-road, but nonetheless, most people honestly are just driving them on the streets anyway. So this kind of gives you that usable off-road character to where you got the all-wheel drive, you got all the tech, the modes, the cameras, but you're not really sacrificing. It drives normal on the road, which is a good touch. Technology, I've always been a fan of the Honda multimedia. I'm very used to it in my own Civic Type R. So this, it's simple. It's really just has what you need without being overboard. A lot of cars these days just get too complicated, and Honda kind of gives you what you need without going crazy. So I like that aspect to it. Turning circles, all pretty good. Cameras, the visibility and everything. I don't think there's anything that jumps out as something that I don't like about this. It kind of just fits what it's supposed to be. And of course, with the Passport, there are several trim levels from a more normal one, more luxury focused ones, and of course the off-road ones. So there's probably a Passport for you if you're looking for a two-row crossover, and they range in price drastically too. But there is the 2026 Honda Passport, the Trailsport Elite S. Pretty neat new crossover, a nice update from the previous generation one. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and a big shout out to Flo Honda of Statesville for providing this new car for today's video. Check their website linked below, and I'll see you all in the next video.